Hey everyone, it is George Couros. Welcome back to another episode of the Innovators Mindset Podcast. I'm going to keep this short. I saw something the other day, and it's something I really believe in, and it was just really nicely encapsulated by someone named Vex King. Very social, very viral social media account. And what Vex talks about, and I'll link it down below, is what he refers to as the tell-them theory. And he shared this. I'm convinced that tell-them theory would make the world a better place. Think the waiter was friendly? Tell them. Your friend looked good today? Tell them. Someone's work inspired you? Tell them. The world is loud with criticism and quiet with appreciation. But the exception, it could make someone's day. And I love this. And I saw it and it resonated with me because this is something I've actually really committed to over the last several years. And in fact, I actually wrote about this. I wrote it for it together recently. And I wrote this. Years ago, I committed to telling someone if I see something great or think something extraordinary about them, regardless of how long it's been since we last spoke or the state of our relationship. If you dislike not hearing about the great things you're doing from others, then be the opposite. Be what you want to see in the world. I've never regretted acknowledging the good I've seen in others, but I have regretted not saying something. This is something I really believe. And to be honest with you, haven't always lived it. So I'm really trying to kind of show the differences here. Here's where I have lived it. When I was a teacher, when I was a school administrator, whether it be a principal or assistant principal, vice principal, whatever you call it, one of the things I really prided myself on was I never passed a student without having some type of interaction. I would never just walk down the hall and ignore that student, never say anything. I would say something. It might be a casual thing, but it could be something like noticing their shoes, saying something just to try to lift their day. I wanted that every interaction that I had with students really kind of, lifted them up, helped them have a better day. And here's the thing, when you are not teaching those students, you might think, well, I don't really know the kid, whatever. But you lift that student up, they go into a colleague's classroom, and then all of a sudden, that colleague's day gets better because that kid is elevated, they're feeling good about themselves, and that's something that they bring into the classroom. You never lose a benefit from someone feeling appreciated, even for something really, really little. As someone who loves basketball shoes, if I see someone wearing a pair of basketball shoes that I know they're proud of, I don't care who they are. I'm saying something. I'm telling you, if you see someone wearing a pair of Jordans and you comment on them, it will lift their day. They brought those out and they're pretty excited about it. And it's such a little thing can make such a huge difference. So that was something I was really, really good at. But when we're talking about social media, I haven't really been good at this over the years, and I've really tried to improve. And I share a couple stories in Forward Together that I think will really resonate with people, showing some of my missteps through that process. But one of the things I really think about was I love reading blogs. I love reading them and commenting. But I always found that the only times I would comment was when I disagreed or I want to push or challenge something. And I think we can all grow. We can all get better. And that's really, really great. But what I noticed was the only time I was commenting was when I would challenge something. So I could read 10 of that person's posts, say how, and think, wow, that was really awesome. That was really good. And then I read one, and then I don't agree, and then I say something. So if you think about that interaction, you think about that in real life, is that something we do? We kind of hold in the good stuff, but when we think a little bit differently, that's when we say something. That's when we kind of push back. And does that actually build credibility with you? And I think this is something that really kind of matters. I was never doing it to be mean. And not that I've never said mean things before. I'd be lying to you, and you'd be lying if you never said something mean too. But we do this often, and we think it's helping. But if you don't build that relationship through that process, if you don't actually kind of share the good things when you hear them, then you lose credibility. And the person who reads it thinking, is this person trying to actually bring me down or lift me up? And the intent is always to lift up. But the intent and how it's received are two totally different things. And, as Vex said, and I think this is something I really believe in, is just having that moment to share something, whether it's good. I remember when I was a principal, I used to stop at a McDonald's like 2 times a week for breakfast, and I'd grab something. And there is this young lady that worked there, And every time I interact with her, she just was so complimentary. She would just say the nicest things. She just kind of lift you up. And it's interesting because she would make my day better and I would be in a positive mood and everyone else's day got better because of that one person's interaction. It's kind of like the pay it forward theory, that idea too. So I just want to share that with you because I think even though we think it's intentionally, now this is the other part of it too. Sometimes the only times I hear from people are criticisms and they crap on you. And then some of them will never say anything nice about you. There was like this really viral meme that I saw and I shared it. I thought it was really powerful. And think about this too, because you might say really nice things. I'm guilty of this too. You may say really nice things to strangers on the internet, people that you've never interacted with, that say how awesome their stuff is. And then you see your friend posting something great and you say nothing. Or you don't even like it, don't even comment on it. And that person's putting themselves out there. And I think that sometimes when our friends do it, we get a little jealous, we get a little disheartened. Why can't that be me? But I've never regretted, trying to lift someone up, trying to get positive. So do it with the strangers on the internet. Do it with the people that you walk by that they do not know your name, you don't know their name. That little interaction can make a really positive impact. But don't forget your friends. Don't forget your family because that's the people we want to hear from the most. It's hard when I know writing a book, I hear from strangers all the time. I don't necessarily hear from people that I've known over the years. And it's tough. It's tough. When I'm being a little bit vulnerable, it sucks. And I try to think, have I been that person to just really try to empathize? But we always do this with strangers, and then we just are never as good to the people closest to us. In fact, sometimes we're worse to them because we know they're not going anywhere. They'll always stick with us through thick and thin. And those are people you really need to appreciate. So I just love that. And I think I just wanted to share that reminder to you. You can check out the quote from Forward Together. I hope you will consider purchasing a book because I think it's a lot of, what's encapsulated in this text. But also, I just think it's a better way to live. And I've shared this forever that I've never regretted sharing gratitude too early, but I've regretted it sharing it too late. And just make sure you take that opportunity. So I'm going to give you a little thing. If you've made it this far, reach out to somebody that you're close with and tell them they did something good. Reach out to somebody you don't know and tell them something good. You'll just make their day better. And I promise you, weirdly enough, your day will get better too. Thanks for being here. I know it's a short episode. Just want to share an idea with you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for what I do. Take care.